Imagine this, you're writing Rust code, but you're actually getting paid to do it. So many developers love to code in Rust and want to use it professionally, but unfortunately they don't know how to turn their passion into a career. So in this video, we'll talk about all the key industries adopting Rust and the concrete steps you can take to break into these industries and get hired. Based on my firsthand experience helping developers learn Rust and land Rust jobs, and working directly with the companies and recruiters who are actively hiring Rust developers. By the way, I got some great news. Our Rust Live Accelerator program is officially accepting applicants today. This is a private group Rust training program for those of you who want to get hired and use Rust professionally. More on that later, but you can now pause the video to apply quickly using the link in the pinned comment below. First and foremost, we have to talk about one particular industry that's quietly hiring a lot of Rust developers right now. This industry needs Rust so badly that the government is actually forcing its adoption. Of course, I'm talking about the security industry. For decades, the security industry has been dominated by C and C++, especially for performance-critical systems. But here's the problem. Companies like Microsoft and Google have reported that 70% of security vulnerabilities in their operating systems come from memory safety bugs. Over the years, the security industry has tried to patch over these issues, using static analysis tools and enforcing security standards and coding guidelines. Entire companies exist just to audit C and C++ codebases for memory safety issues. But even with all that effort, problems still slip through. Static analyzers often produce false positives, or worse, miss critical safety issues entirely. Human error still happens, even with the best security standards in place. And security reviews are expensive, and they usually happen after the code is built, not during development. What makes Rust different is that safety guarantees are built in, enforced by default during development, and checked at compile time. So you're not relying on engineering discipline or external tools to catch bugs after the fact. That's why Rust is seeing real adoption in security critical systems. For example, Microsoft has been rewriting core security-sensitive components of Windows in Rust, part of a broader effort to eliminate memory safety vulnerabilities from the Windows codebase. And Google has stated that they cut the number of memory vulnerabilities in Android by 68%. After implementing security-sensitive software in Rust and other memory-safe languages. And of course, Rust is being used in Linux as well. In fact, Linux 6.15 recently shipped with a brand new Rust-based driver. We're also seeing security-native software being built in Rust. For example, 1Password, a password manager trusted by millions of people and over 70,000 businesses. They've officially stated that 70% of 1Password for Windows is written in Rust. And the 1Password team also ported the 1Password brain, the engine that powers the browser filling logic, from Go to Rust at the end of 2019, so that they could take advantage of the speed and performance of deploying Rust to WebAssembly in their browser extension. Alright, let's talk about the next industry adopting Rust rapidly. And it's one of the most practical and in-demand use cases of Rust today. And that's no other than Backend Infrastructure, the kind of software that quietly powers everything in the background. Companies like AWS, Azure, and Cloudflare are already using Rust in production. AWS built Firecracker in Rust, a lightweight micro VM technology that powers AWS Lambda and Fargate. Microsoft has already adopted Rust in various parts of Azure, particularly in security critical components where memory safety is a priority. And the CTO of Azure even made it a policy to use Rust instead of C or C++ for projects where a non-garbage collected language is required. And at Cloudflare, another cloud service giant, Rust is used extensively across their edge services, including routing massive amounts of internet traffic at scale. Now, the biggest problem I see with Rust developers trying to break into backend roles is this. They often don't have a deep understanding of async Rust, and they struggle to build production-level Rust software. And what makes matters worse is they often build the wrong kinds of Rust projects. But we'll talk more about that in just a bit. Alright, what do we have here for the next industry where Rust is heavily used? Now, if you've ever seen a Black Mirror episode, or have watched the movie Terminator, then you know that humanity ends when AI is merged with advanced robotics. Lucky for us, the software running on these killer robots will never crash because it'll be written in Rust. Jokes aside, embedded systems, electronics, and robotics are some of the fastest growing areas for Rust, especially where safety, performance, and bare metal control really matter. In fact, we've had robotics companies reach out to us for help hiring Rust talent. And these are absolutely not one-off cases. Amazon, for example, is using Rust for its robotics software. Here we can see one of their open positions on the Let's Get Rusty job board. Volvo is using Rust to develop new software for its cars. I've also learned from engineers and recruiters that Mercedes-Benz and Toyota are already using Rust for various components in their vehicles. Andrill is using Rust too. They build AI-powered defense systems like autonomous drones, sensor towers, and battlefield software. Meanwhile, General Dynamics is actively building NSA-certified cybersecurity and encryption devices in Rust. On the consumer side, Samsung is using Rust to build memory-safe embedded applications for their SmartThings hub, along with cloud services that power its home automation ecosystem. So that's embedded Rust. What's next? Now, when it comes to cutting-edge innovation, two areas are attracting the most money and engineering talent right now: AI and blockchain. I'll share more thoughts on Rust and AI later in this video, but for now let's talk about the Web3 industry. Now, I get it, Web3 can be a polarizing topic, but here's the reality. Rust has become a foundational language in this space, and demand for skilled Rust developers is very high. Solana is built entirely on Rust. Polkadot's core infrastructure is written in Rust too, and even major Ethereum and Bitcoin implementations are turning to Rust. Not because it's trendy, but because it delivers what they actually need: memory safety, high performance, predictable behavior, and reliable concurrency. Blockchain remains one of the most active and accessible industries for developers breaking into Rust. Companies in this space are hiring Rust engineers not just to work on low-level protocol code, but also to build a surrounding infrastructure. Everything from smart contract tooling and client libraries to network services and execution engines. And because the ecosystem is evolving rapidly, most teams are not demanding years of Rust experience. What they're really looking for is engineers that understand the blockchain space, can think in Rust, and have the curiosity and adaptability to learn fast. Before I give you my final thoughts on Rust and AI, I got some great news. Applications for our Rust Accelerator program are officially open today. This is a live, hands-on, private group training program where you'll master production-grade Rust, build a killer job-ready portfolio, and receive personalized career and job search support. It's designed specifically for developers who want to break into high-impact Rust roles, whether it's in security, embedded systems, blockchain, backend infrastructure, or beyond. This program guides you through all the concrete steps you need to get hired. In the first phase, we'll strengthen your Rust fundamentals with real-time guidance, so you can write safe, idiomatic Rust without second-guessing yourself. In the second phase, you'll build production-grade, resume-worthy projects modeled after the kinds of systems that real companies are building, not just tutorials or toy projects. And in the third phase, you'll get personalized support from myself, my team, and our Rust Recruiter network to land a Rust role in the industry of your choosing. This is the same three-step roadmap that so many of our students in the Rust Live Accelerator program have followed to master Rust, build credibility, and land real opportunities in companies using Rust at scale. Please note that we're only accepting 25 students from my YouTube subscribers, and we will close enrollment shortly and kick off our cohort on July 15th. People who have joined the waitlist already have gotten a head start and received an early notice right before this video was published. So the limited number of available spots will be gone very quickly. If you've been waiting on the right moment to double down on Rust, this is it. Head over to letsgetrusty.com/join or click the link in the pinned comment to apply and see if you're qualified to finally transform your career. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: AI. There's no denying the impact AI is having on software development jobs. A lot of routine development work is already being automated, from basic front-end components to boilerplate back-end logic to code generation tools that can put together entire applications. And this trend is only accelerating. So the question becomes, what kind of development work is still going to matter in the years ahead? From what I've seen, the safest roles are going to be in two categories: areas of deep innovation like blockchain or AI itself, and systems where correctness, safety, and performance truly matter. And Rust is involved in both, which is why I think learning Rust is so important to future-proof your career. But if you're serious about using Rust for your career, you need more than tutorial videos, basic exercises, or toy projects on the side. You need honest feedback from experts and peers who have the same goals and ambitions as you. And you need to learn how to think like a Rust engineer, not just copy and paste what you see in tutorials. That's exactly why I created our private group Rust training program, the Rust Live Accelerator. It's designed for goal-driven, ambitious developers who want to master real-world Rust, build a killer portfolio that gets noticed by recruiters and companies, and break into the kinds of Rust roles you want most, with expert support every step of the way. Applications for the Rust Live Accelerator program are officially open today. Remember, we're only accepting 25 students from our YouTube subscribers, because I want to make sure every student gets undivided attention, detailed code reviews and feedback, and expert support. If you want to secure your spot, make sure to do so as soon as you can. Go to letsgetrusty.com/join or click the link in the pinned comment to apply and see if you qualify. So many of you have been emailing me and asking me when this is going to be launched. So I'm so excited to finally present this to you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you inside the accelerator.